Good afternoon, class. My name is Dejanay Sims, and this is my plp4, and basically what I learned about leadership. So, as this class first began, I believe that a leader was a person who came into power, over time by, what they did. I didn't believe it was you can be a leader at any day, anytime. I just felt like it was by your age. So, as this time progressed in the class, I learned that a leader can be anybody, any age, any time. It's just all about how bad you want it. So, one of the things I learned about leadership is that some people have power and don't use it. And I don't know if many of you noticed it, but a lot of the times, I'm more of, the quiet person in the class, a person who, doesn't really talk that much. So, when this class first began, I was, that really quiet, shy person who didn't want to break out of their box, who just believed that, hey, I can come in here, I can sit back, I can relax, I can be quiet, and no one will ever notice, and I'll just get credit. But Jessica, giving me an assignment one day to be a facilitator kind of helped me get out of that box and to learn how to, open up and, be able to, talk to different people, and just learn how to, be diverse instead of just being to myself. So, as the class went on, I learned that a good leader is someone who will be open-minded and who will take the needs of the people into perspective. They won't just think it's all about me, it's all about what I want at the end of the day, and just be selfish about it. And I also learned that a good leader is a person who uses the power that they have instead of thinking of it as, well, I only have a little bit of power, so, I can't do anything with it. That's why our nation is the way it is now. People who have power don't use the power that they have because they believe, hey, it's only a little bit of power. If I do anything, it won't really make a difference, so why should I say anything? For elections, most of the time, that's how it goes. People don't really get out, people don't get a chance to vote or don't go and vote because they feel hey, at the end of the day, whoever's going to win is going to win, and my vote didn't really matter. But that's not true. Every vote, every count, it makes a difference. So, I feel to be a good leader, you need to make sure that you step up to the plate. You can't just do what you want to do when you want to do it. You have to do it when it's necessary and at all times. You have to do everything that you need to do at all times, not just halfway. So, as this class began, I didn't see myself as a leader at all. I didn't think that it was possible for me to be a leader. But now, looking up, I think that it's possible for me to be a leader and that I do already acquire some of the skills needed to be a leader. I just need to learn how to use those in my everyday life. And me being a leader, I feel it's best for me to acknowledge when I have a weakness, that way other people can come in and help me with that weakness, because where my strengths are, I can do good in those, but where I have a weakness, maybe somebody else can step in and help me with that, and it, won't be a weakness anymore if I learn to adjust to that and get used to it. So, as the class went on, we did an exercise called plp4, which is where we were split into two cultures, the betas and the alphas. And as I stated earlier, I'm a really quiet person, but when it came to being in the alphas, that really changed for me. It really opened my eyes, because when the betas came in to visit us, I really, really so bad wanted to talk to them. I really wanted to, just say, hey, come on in, this is how our culture works. But because of the exercise and how it was set up, we couldn't really tell them how the society worked or whatever. They just had to come in and figure it out. So, for me, that was really difficult. And when we got the chance to go over to the betas, society, and see what it was like, it was kind of weird for me and kind of awkward to see that they were speaking a language that I've never heard of, never thought of. So, I guess that's just how our society is nowadays, that, we have people come from different places, different times or something like that, that might speak a different language or have a different greeting, but that doesn't mean that you just shut them out or that you just don't pay them any attention. You still should take the time out to learn them, to get diverse, and to figure out, what the next level is. Because when you go into job interviews and things like that, you might meet a person who's interviewing you who might speak a different language or might be from a different background, and you don't want to just not get the job because you acted weird about how they greeted you or something like that. Like, I really enjoyed the exercise when we got the chance to do, like, the mock interviews and stuff like that. It was really helpful for me, especially because, like, a lot of the times, like, when I get into interviews, I get really nervous and I don't really know what to say, and especially when they ask me what are my strengths and my weaknesses. Like, one time I had a job interview, and I was asked, do I procrastinate? And I said yes, I procrastinate all the time, but at the end of the day, I get the job done. And I realized that, even though I was being truthful, I shouldn't have been that truthful. And yeah, in the end, I didn't get the job, but it was a lesson learned, and I did, take something from that. So the next exercise that I learned from was when we talked about the 7 C's in the class, and the two that stuck out to me the most were change and commitment, because I feel like throughout this class, like, me being a leader and having a leadership role has, like, changed for me a lot. Like, it's really developing more as it should, and I feel like now I'm even more committed to, like, becoming a leader one day and, like, standing up and rising up and making a change somewhere in the society where it needs to be, instead of sitting back and just feeling like I'm powerless, like I've always felt. So one of the big lessons that I'll take away from this class is that even the small people who have little power can still make a change. You still have a voice. You still mean something in a society. You're not shut out, and don't ever think that you are. Doing different exercises to where people have more power than other people and stuff like that really taught me that a lot of times people who have more power will abuse their power and make people who have less power feel like, they are nothing. But you have to stand up to those people sometimes. Like, sometimes it takes you to stand up to that person to make them realize that what they're doing is not right, and that maybe you can change their leadership skills, a little bit, and inform them on how to be a better leader. You never know. And I really enjoyed the service project we did with the animals. I was a little frantic about it at first because me and animals don't really mix. Like, I have a little dog at home, but it took me a while to get used to her. I'm kind of a little afraid of dogs and stuff like that. So when we went to the animal shelter, I was kind of like nervous to even play with the dogs at first and things like that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I felt like it was for a great cause, and that we were helping somebody, who really needed help, and I'm all about helping somebody who needs help. So I really enjoyed, like, taking apart and opening the syringes and, like, putting them in order, and, petting the dogs, and just seeing people, from all different places come out and enjoy helping other people. Like, I like to see other people help other people, because it just makes me feel like our nation is, eventually going to come together, and, like, we will have something that's good. This class has really taught me that as a leader, you have to learn how to work with, people from all different races, backgrounds, and that at the end of the day, you should never just limit yourself, to that. Like, me personally, a lot of the times, like, I have friends who are all African American, and that's not to say that I'm racist or anything like that, because I'm not. Those are just the people that I hang around the most. Those are just the people that come and talk to me. But I'm really open to being friends with anybody who, I meet or whatever, if we have something in common. But as this class is coming to an end, I really will miss everyone, and I hope that, we can continue these friendships that we've made over this class period. And this is Dejanay Sims, and yes, I support this message.